welcome back to Game of King Chair. This is episode 5, The Bells.
The Bells.
That theme song, God, Da Bells. That's what I'm naming it. Da Bells. Every other episode, it's been the actual episode title. Da Bells. No, that fucking theme song, man, it just makes you want to just flex the whole time.
I was flexing the whole time.
You were. Shout out Leo Morcioli of Frog Leap Studios for not necessarily directly providing the intro to us, but
more or less.
Here's the credit, pal.
I saw the actual music video the other day, and then I was like, wait a minute. I've heard this somewhere before. Wait, that's the fucking intro song.
Yeah.
How did they get the rights to this?
Well, he just threw down blanket consent, and
he kind of did. He straight up did. It's several videos. It's like, hey, if you want to use this, just credit me. So I shout out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Consider yourself credited.
And then I throw the original video link up in the description. So
nice.
It's there, and it's also 4 minutes longer than what you hear on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he actually added vocals to it.
Oh,
It was the weird. What did he? You watched it, so
The
just
one that I watched,
Mongolian throat vocals.
the one that I watched didn't have any vocals.
oh really?
Mm-hmm.
It says something about White Walkers. And
Oh wow!
he's just repeating the same two things.
Actual lyrics, not just vocals.
Actual lyrics, as in just two things.
Okay,
Not
got
two
it.
Gotcha.
words, two things. But yeah, we're here,
We're here.
Yes,
and
we are.
we're at the penultimate
I love that
The
word.
penultimate.
episode of this season, which typically the penultimate episode of every Game of Thrones season has been just
A banger.
a banger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know a bad one. I mean, season 1, spoilers, episode 8, Ned Stark dies.
Yeah.
In case you're just listening to this because you can.
Yeah.
You know what?
These people checking in for the first time when we're one episode away from the series ending.
Yes.
I
First
found-
time listener.
Can't spoil anything for them.
I find it hilarious that people, not even necessarily people that are like what Skylar and I did and got caught up in a very short amount of time, but people that have watched the show since season 1 aired are still pissed that fucking Ned Stark died.
Yeah.
And it's like,
As well, they should be.
right. I'm not taking anything away from that, but it's like, he's fucking Sean Bean.
Yeah, it's his.
He's
It's
gonna
his-
die.
It's his shtick.
It's his shtick.
He either dies or is forced to resign from his position.
Mhm. Or fade into obscurity.
Yeah, the Martian.
Yes.
He didn't die because he didn't go anywhere. He stayed on Earth.
He just disappeared.
They're like, you need to resign. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so technically his career died.
Goodness.
Mm.
He
Wowzers.
still died,
Wowzers.
essentially.
Wowzers.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ew.
Not his
What the
acting career.
fuck?
I'm talking his
Oh.
his NASA career in The Martian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nick took that
I'm like-
wow.
I thought we were talking about Sean Bean.
He
as an
is,
actor
he is
for
still a
minute.
good actor.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like,
when
I'm
did we
sitting there
strip
thinking
him of
about
all
it,
his
and I'm like,
credit?
what have we seen him in since season 1? That's been,
I don't know.
I mean, he had that
substantial.
amazing cameo in Battle of Bastards. He was a headless guy on a horse. Just it wasn't actually him. It's a joke.
Mm.
Heart.
That's why people are still pissed off about it, Blaine. Because you keep bringing it back up like that.
AJ says ultimately the entirety of the events happened because of Ned Stark's death, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that was one of the major sparks. But at the same time, there was a bunch of other things in play.
John Aaron.
Yeah, John Aaron was the real beginning here.
Well,
I mean, if you really want to go back to it,
it's Littlefinger.
Yeah.
but if you really want to go back to it, Robert's Rebellion.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
If you really want to go back to it, it was the tryst between Rhaegar and Lyanna.
Mhm.
Spoilers.
You really want to go back to
To it,
really
it's
wanna go
Aegon
back
the
to it.
Conqueror.
Yeah, I mean, when
Take on
the
the Conqueror.
Targaryens left Old Valyria, I mean, that's what really kicked it off.
I think it's actually God's fault.
Was the Andal
Which
invasion.
God? We have so many. We got the Seven. We got the Lord of Light. We got the many-faced
Drowned God.
The Drowned God.
The old gods.
The new God.
I'm a big fan of the Drowned God. He just
He's a dick.
drowns people.
That's awful.
But what is dead?
It never dies.
Yeah.
But
How do you not kill Euron Greyjoy by drowning him?
that would be too fitting.
That'd have been.
He doesn't deserve it. He is
Oh.
that wrangly little fucking pirate, man.
So here we go. We're getting into it.
Where did
Like-
he go?
Officially.
Like I wanna rewind a little bit because I mean I think everyone who followed the series knew Theon was gonna go in episode 3, and even though I thought his spear charge was dumb, like
Yeah.
like you're not gonna charge fucking 50 yards a fucking demigod with a spear, like let him come to you,
He
like
clearly sees you coming.
like do your work, man. Like let's see what you can do. You just had like a fucking 75 kill streak. Call in the attack helicopter. Let's see what happens.
He definitely got that overkill.
Yeah, but like his as a
freaking believable.
as one of the characters that takes you on like a legit journey, you know, emotionally and physically, like Theon's death was satisfying, and Euron has no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
No, he's a
You know,
complete psychopath.
he's just a fucking dick, and I
Yeah.
like when I knew that he was gonna die, I thought, man, I really like when him and Jaime start squaring off, like this is gonna be satisfying, and it was not at all.
I really love that. I mean, a lot of people complain, but I really love that they introduced Euron so late in the series that they couldn't give him any real depth.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
that actually made me like him more because he was just he at face value he was a psychopath
Mhm.
and just did.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just did what he wanted.
Well, and he, I mean, he like very plainly said what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rule the Iron Islands, and I'm gonna fuck the Queen. Like those are the two things that I want to do, and that's
Yep.
it.
The only depth he ever really got ended up being a ruse because it was when he's like, I've seen many things in the world and I've never been afraid. I'm afraid of that. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
And then it
I'm
ended up,
fucking dealing with that.
yeah, it ended up being a ruse. Like the only time he ever showed true depth.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I loved Euron. I loved when they attacked Yara's fleet. He's just
He was wild.
he's jumping through the flames with a fucking axe and
And
just,
his axe is just fucking incredible.
yeah.
You know.
His ship is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Well, his ship was incredible.
Yeah.
It's Dunzo, my man.
Even the Iron
it's
the
gone.
Iron
gone.
Fleet scorpions were pretty badass. They look like squid tentacles.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
They didn't last
they
very
had,
long.
They had a beak on the inside. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like the
cute.
old fucking
That's-
Kraken.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't really know what direction we want to go. I mean,
We tried to just start at the beginning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Varys tries to poison Dany.
Yeah. Which I didn't
That didn't
realize
work.
until next day someone brought
Wait,
it up.
how did he? Wait, you did?
He was sending the kitchen maid. He said she wouldn't eat. And she's like, well, we'll try again
Yep.
in the evening.
Oh.
The bigger
Mhm.
the risk, the bigger the reward.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the guards are watching me. Oh, it's their job, sweetling. I didn't catch it on the first.
I didn't
The
either.
first
Did-
watch.
Now, did you guys pick up that there was a stack of scrolls off to the side of his desk? The next time you see him, it's not there.
So he got the message out.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I think we're gonna.
Words out.
Who all do you think he sent that message or those messages to?
Everyone.
Who's left?
If he was smart, the maesters at Old Town.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, actually, send it to the Citadel.
Yeah.
Send one to the Citadel. Probably send one to Sansa. I mean, she already knows. Never mind.
Yeah, so that'd be pointless to send to her.
But either way, I mean, then you've got it in writing, you know.
True.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't think that'd be a bad play.
You could send one to. Who's left?
All of the
They said-
North is at Winterfell.
Yeah.
They haven't gone home,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they have at this point. But, I mean, Dorne, maybe.
They
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
they mentioned a prince in Dorne. I don't
Yeah.
know, I don't think they're ever going to tell us who that's
And
supposed to be.
I guess Lord Robin's still in charge of the.
Yeah,
The Veil.
The Veil.
What a total fuck! Like he just
I was
just didn't
expecting
bring him back?
I was expecting him to kill the Night King.
why?
He's been training. He's got to be a
Lord Robin.
badass archer by now.
He's probably going to be the one kid that
Oh.
survives. He's like, yeah, I did it all. I killed the Night King,
He
and I
gets the
killed all
Iron
3
Throne.
dragons by myself.
Robin is standing over the moon door, jacking off as we speak right now.
That's
Right?
all he cares about.
Yeah, is that fucking moon door? Tit milk and
Fly!
tit,
Uh,
it's fucking tit milk and moon door, man.
Tit milk and moon door.
God, I hated that kid. I hated his mom.
right.
Oh, she was terrible. She deserved to fly.
Liza.
Such
Liza.
a bitch.
I wish fucking Littlefinger would have falling through the moon door. It would have been that much more satisfying, I think.
I don't know. I'm very satisfied with this.
Well, no. I don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be nice, like in the next episode, to have a little bit of closure as far as like maybe seeing some fucking lords and ladies open those fucking scrolls and just be like,
I bet that'd probably be how they start. That'd be well, I don't know.
it'd be a good way to do
happen.
it. Yeah,
It's definitely gonna happen.
Like all you hear is music, and you see it's like montage of that, kind of like the opening to the season 6 finale when they're all setting up for the trial of atonement, and, and then and Cersei's getting dressed up just to watch the fireworks.
She had a lot of acting in this last episode.
She's had a lot of acting this whole season.
Just kind of standing looking
At
out
$1
windows.
million per episode.
Yep.
Right.
She's doing a real good job.
I think her overall, like,
Yeah.
she was just like, she's 90% of the reason why people hate this episode, because it wasn't satisfying enough.
No,
It was-
I'm satisfied that that Cersei and Jaime died together.
I mean, it makes sense.
I didn't like the way they died.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought that was a fitting end for Cersei, and Jaime is he's such a weird character. I don't know how I wanted him to die, but you know, he finally got that strange from Brienne,
I wanted
and
him.
then he's like, you know what? Nah, this isn't who I am.
This ain't right.
I
This ain't
wanted
right.
him to go down fucking defending Brienne is what I wanted. You know, like I get it. Like Game of Thrones is not fucking fairy tale storybook.
No.
You know, like I don't want that. But Jaime's the one character that, you know, you hate him so much in the fucking beginning. At least, you know, I did.
Yeah.
And then his character development is like, all right, we're getting to the top of the pyramid. Let's see what fucking happens. And it just goes right back to the bottom of the pyramid. Okay. Fucking 6 seasons of waste. 7 seasons of waste.
I've seen a lot of people complain that like Euron yelling, "I killed the Kingslayer."
That was so dumb.
Everybody's like, it's so pointless. He didn't kill him though. Like it was so pointless for him to even say that. Why even put that in there? Why put that in there? Because it feeds into the delusion of Euron Greyjoy.
Mm-hmm.
He is so high on himself and so high on his own accomplishments.
Even in death, he's gotta
Yep.
give praise to himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
That-
a poor fuck.
Right.
I have a lot of disagreements with a lot of the complaints people have for this episode. I mean, everything made sense to me.
Yeah.
Everything lined up. Yeah, it was rushed, like this entire last season, 2 seasons. But
It's funny how it feels rushed, but at the same time, we spent 45 minutes just watching children get burnt.
which was a bit much.
Like, I got
Slaughtered,
it.
Yeah.
You know, I got it after the first 15, 20 minutes. Like, I don't.
I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see any of Daenerys during any of that. You know, I know after the episode they were talking about giving a perspective from like the ground up when you're watching this travesty happen, which is interesting. But I wanted to see her kind of reaction to as she was
She's
doing
burning
this.
women and children alive.
Like what's going through her head?
I feel like that was a strategic thing that they did.
Oh, I think that the look she had on her face right before she took off was the face she had the entire time.
Yep.
Just that deranged,
Just
like,
fury.
which, I mean, again, it does feel a little bit rushed.
See,
But it's not, like,
It's
did
not.
you think she was gonna, like,
They
they've
should
been
have. They
planting
should have
this.
had Rhaegal survive the previous episode, and he should have died right when they had their bells ringing or something.
Yeah,
And there would have been this one trigger, and that was the one thing that makes her say, "Okay, I'm going. Screw it."
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
would've been a
they were
little
acting
bit
like
more
the bells
satisfying.
were some
It
sort of
felt
like
there-
trigger.
it felt like there was no trigger. She was just looking at the castle and just said,
the trigger
"Fuck
wasn't.
it, Leroy." You know.
Yeah.
See, I feel like a lot of people would be satisfied with that, but to me, it makes sense because she sees the bells and like it was so one sided and so easy, and she's like, "It's not enough.
Right.
It's not enough." Cersei Lannister has to pay. the people.
But she doesn't give a shit about the people. That's
If Cersei
why
Lannister had
people
to
have a
pay-
problem about it. Because Cersei doesn't give a shit about the people. You could burn every living person in the Seven Kingdoms, and Cersei wouldn't
But
give
when
a
you-
shit.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing, and I think that from Danny's perspective, devil's advocate, was it Marine?
Mhm.
Where she just walked in, and the people freed themselves.
Mhm.
And I think they kind of hinted at Danny thinking along the lines of like, y'all motherfuckers
You've
have
had
been
your
living here.
chance.
You've been living under this for decades, under these terrible fucking people, and you never took it upon yourselves. So we are starting fresh and fucking clean.
Yeah.
No, there's no fucking excuse for killing children and innocents.
And
But
Cersei doesn't care, but she also doesn't think she'll do it.
no,
she
she
also-
definitely didn't think she would.
No,
she would do it.
she thought she was going to be bluffing.
Nope.
But Danny snaps, doesn't give a fuck.
She didn't just like burn the buildings down. She was like mowing into the foundation.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too when the wildfire caches started exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
really
Yeah.
like,
like that.
she's fulfilled her father's kind of intentions in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Burned them all. It's like Danny did it.
Yep. I got you, Dad. I'll finish what you started.
So, have you guys read that? I don't remember the guy's name.
Kylo Ren.
The actor that plays Varys is fucking pissed at the show
Really?
that he basically just got written into obscurity.
He
And-
had a very diminished role, like
Mhm.
this whole season. It felt.
They built Varys and Baelish up to be these absolute masterminds, which they are. Like they're two of my favorite players in the game. Baelish is probably my favorite character because he they did a pretty good job in this show of showing how cunning he is and how he's able to move pieces around.
When he
But
put
he's a fucking mastermind in the
he's
book.
vicious.
he put fucking plan. He put a plan in motion that he knew was going to take
He triggered.
tens of years. Not tens of years, but years, if I can speak. Not
Oh,
like
and
a
he
Neanderthal.
built it up for a very, very long time. And then I was totally dissatisfied with the way that they took Baelish out. It was like, no, he wouldn't have. This isn't Baelish at all. He wouldn't do something like this. And then Varys, it felt uncharacteristic of him
Mhm.
to do some of the things that he did.
Like blatantly talk to Jon out in the open.
I mean, maybe he was starting to really start freaking out. Like, we've got to try to get this message out before she tries to go to King's
There-
Landing.
there
Because
was-
if she goes,
He
she's
was
gonna
going.
burn it to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, when Tyrion and him are having their conversation, you see like he's got fear in his eyes. He's got fear in his tone, like, and there's a sense of urgency, like we have to take care of this now.
Well, and I think
'Cause
it's one of the first times for his character, at least in the show, that you see him have doubt
For
in
something.
in a decision
Mhm.
that he's made.
yeah,
Because I mean, every time Varys was on screen for the first fucking 7 seasons,
he's just calm.
he's
cool.
calm, he's collected, he is driven, he knows that,
he knows what's up.
and he's totally out of the game at that point.
because Danny's wild card.
Like Nick said, I mean, it was uncharacteristic that he would fuck up that blatantly.
But
You know,
I guess now that I'm pondering it a little bit, they made a point several times this whole last season to point out that there's 1 million people in King's Landing. 1 million people in King's Landing. So the gravity of, because I mean they're there, like this is all happening,
and
like
there's more and
in
more
like
coming in every
a
day. too.
2-day span. This is all happening, so I can see where Varys is kind of like, fuck, like we got to do something now, and it's like I don't have time to be clever. Like we just gotta we got to get the gears fucking moving on this.
Getting desperate is probably
Because-
his mistake.
All these
That
fucking
makes
people
sense.
are gonna die, and that, I mean, how many people died in Hiroshima, Nagasaki?
Around 300,000, I believe.
Okay, so we're talking
Well,
Yeah.
a
Give or take.
lot of people. What does someone compare it to? Is it Chicago?
Yeah,
How many people are in Chicago?
a lot.
a couple million. Yeah.
Or Indy? Imagine Indy getting blown off the face of the world. Like, that's a whole fuck ton of people. So,
Yeah.
Danny, you crazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
I watched the behind the scenes, and briefly talked about that shot of her on the wall, and it cut to it just immediately switched to the green screen room. She was completely in a completely green room on a green
Like
writing
mechanical bowl.
writing thing, and she pulled all of that. Like, you see so much emotion on her face, but for her to be able to pull all of that out with just a green room, nothing to vibe off of, nothing to like fucking direct yourself at, like that show. I love Emilia Clarke for her being able to do that.
And she had 2 fucking aneurysms and just kept trucking. So
No shit.
yeah, in season 1 and season 2, she was having fucking brain aneurysms
Wow,
and just kept going.
did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
2.7 million in Chicago.
So, half of that.
That's Alexander M. Garou.
Grout. What's up, Alex?
He also says, "Sup, guys."
Alex is the man.
Big shout out to you. Thanks for commenting, interacting.
Being our R&D department.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for those watching,
Thanks, Jamie.
continue being in our R&D department and continue chatting with us, because
We
we will
appreciate it.
shout you out.
So, let's see.
You will be heard.
Ferris gets burned up. That's kind of where we left off.
Before that, he straight up walks to John, like right on the beach, straight up, just like,
Yeah.
dog, gonna need you to do this. And John just goes, treason. You can walk up to me on the beach, nice windy day. Hey, let's betray our queen. Like, dog, we should not be talking about this. No.
She is
Fuck
my
no.
queen.
She's our queen, dude. And
She is my queen.
and you can even we can blame the destruction of King's Landing on Jon Snow if we really want to.
Well, and I think
all he had to do is dick down his hand a couple more times.
I think
He
going
was very
further than that,
complicit in all this.
you could fucking blame the burning of King's Landing on fucking Davos Seaworth
Sure.
for not pulling John aside and being like, "Look, my man,
Right?
just fucking give
I
her a little
love-
more pipe."
Did you guys see the meme?
Here's a for him.
Yes.
Did you see the meme where it's like he's standing there looking at all the destruction happening around him, and he's just like, and it's his dialogue choices. She's my queen. I was
She's
like
my
that. God, what was I can't remember the other one, but it says new dialogue choice unlocked. Ah! Shouts at Dragon. The meme.
Man, the memes are unbelievably
Oh, yeah.
spicy.
Yeah, and I told you I got caught up in them that I couldn't, and I'm so sorry.
I couldn't help it either. Like
I-
once it started
The
flowing,
very first meme I shared, I straight up in the description it said spoilers, and then I put my thoughts on it. But then after that, I just got caught up. I was like, "Ah." And then as soon as like the trickling of anger started pouring in, I was like, oh
Whoops.
man, I really did get caught up. Luckily, I wasn't the one that spoiled it for Andrew Poor. Or no,
Like how I said, they were like, got it spoiled. He's like, got it spoiled. I'm like, did the same person spoil it for all of us?
that's when I was like, oh no. I messaged the group and I'm like, was it me?
Yes, Dongo, it was you.
AP was like, it was Lauren. Lauren.
she was
Million.
fucking blatant.
No, she straight up says, Cersei dies on Mother's Day. No meme attached. It's just text and a status that she typed out. And I'm like, whoa.
You put thought into this.
Oh yeah.
You didn't just click share on a picture. You typed it out with your fingers.
Mhm.
I think.
And I was just, I literally, I was like, ooh, that's blatant.
People are posting memes that are spoilers.
Ooh. Chad Taylor says, anyone noticed Grey Worm's disgust when he saw Jon Snow pull back?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was, okay, so right before Grey Worm threw his spear and like those moments leading up to that, I saw him
His
look back.
face.
He looked back at Jon like something's like shit's about to go down. And
Because
for
Grey
some-
Worm knew.
for some reason, I thought he conspired with Dany to kill Jon Snow in the battle, and I thought we were gonna get a Jon Snow Grey Worm fight.
Oh,
I think we're still
I
gonna-
think that could still happen.
That's
I think we're gonna get an Arya Grey Worm fight.
Well-
someone's gonna fight Grey Worm.
I'll get to my
Who
get
has
to
a
my
real
theory
name
at
now?
the
By the
end.
way, did you guys catch that?
yeah.
What's that?
Grey Worm has a real name. I can't, for the life of me, remember. I remember it was like something Nudo.
So yeah, they did mention it.
He's had that name.
Really?
I've
Yeah.
never heard him called that.
No, that's the
That's-
first time I've seen it, and it
I
was.
thought that was the Valerian word for Grey Worm.
Mhm. But
Maybe.
why would it be it when she's speaking Grey Worm, speaking Valyrian? Why would it in the subtitles be the Valyrian version. That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, unless that's how they wanted it done.
That's weird.
I mean, they left a fucking Starbucks cup in an episode, so...
Did you see
They had extra CGI
the
left
pop
over so they
vinyl-
could go fix it.
the
but
pop vinyl Starbucks cup?
Yeah. Yeah, that was nice.
And then
I don't know.
they edited it out.
I think we're definitely going to get a John v. Grey Worm fight, and I cannot fucking wait for it.
We're getting someone v. Grey Worm because there's no way we're getting out of this next episode without.
I think-
Isn't Grey Worm her... Wouldn't he be the hand now?
Pretty much the last.
Pretty
two.
much. He's the only one left.
Well, I mean, Tyrion is.
Yeah, Tyrion, but
Oh,
he's gonna-
Tyrion's dead.
I don't.
He's
think
gonna
he-
run.
He's not dead, but Tyrion's in trouble.
I think
Yes.
Tyrion's going to run and hide behind Jon, and Jon's going to defend Tyrion. And Jon and fucking Grey Worm are going to fight, and while they're fighting, Arya's going to kill Daenerys, and Tyrion's going to take the throne, because Jon's going to go north of the wall and fucking hang out with Ghost and Tormund, and you can't change my mind.
And that is one of the spin-offs that we're getting. We're just going to get some
Tormund and Ghost.
fanfare of Jon, Tormund, and Ghost
Is
playing
that-
up in the snow.
Is that the official last episode prediction?
That's my last episode prediction.
Hmm.
Because they foreshadow it, like, they don't, I mean, it's foreshadowing, but, like, that conversation between Jon and Tormund when they say goodbye,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
Tormund...
like you got the real North.
Tormund's like, you are our fucking guy. You don't belong down there. Come up here with us. And, like, obviously, Jon's time north of the wall, like, has been some of the most miserable for him. I mean, fucking people, like, a lot of people have died up there.
And a lot of people tried to kill him
A lot of people tried to kill him.
as a member of
Some
the Night's
people
Watch.
did actually kill him up there.
But he's in his fucking element.
He wasn't north of the wall.
Barely.
It was his own people.
He came back down to Winterfell. Then he went right back up north of the wall again.
That's my favorite episode of the series.
North of the wall.
Mhm.
Or beyond the wall.
Beyond the Wall, yep.
That's
probably my favorite.
That's my favorite.
That's a pretty badass episode. I think that's what I want. I want Jon to go north. I don't.
Is that what you want, or is that what you think?
It makes. If he doesn't, then he dies.
I mean, because
I don't see him staying.
he's adamant that he will not sit on the Iron Throne, and the fucking Iron Throne's gone anyway.
no,
so
it's not. It's still there.
If
the fucking
Danny's
Red Keep
vision
is
was
leveled.
is
It's
true,
not leveled.
Not
You,
entirely.
you still see it in the previews for next week's episode.
I don't watch the preview for next week.
I mean, at this point, you can watch them and not be spoiled on anything because it's just been like a 10-second, 3 clips of just
nothing.
people walking. And then,
No words.
yeah.
yeah,
It's
it's
very-
not like it has been. So, yeah, my prediction, I think Jon's going to end up killing Daenerys. I think they're going to have an argument.
I can't see that happen.
I agree.
I think he's going to confront her in some way or another.
Man, I don't know at this point if Jon has the nuts left to confront her.
I don't.
After seeing
I
what
don't
she
think
did,
he'll kill her.
I
can't
the
see him
fucker is
killing
I
her.
could.
the fucker's dead
I could
inside.
definitely see him killing her.
Every bit of hope and faith that he had left in fucking humanity is gone.
I don't think so.
She's his queen, and she betrayed him.
She didn't betray him.
She absolutely, most certainly, 1000% did.
She lied to everybody.
Yeah.
She didn't lie. She just snapped and did shit.
Yeah.
Okay, she
That's not a lie. That's a
But he realized
a
he's
really,
not-
really
she,
big my bad.
She did the thing she said she wouldn't do.
He realized he wasn't down for it, though. That much was clear.
Oh, absolutely.
No one was down for it at all. Fighting a war against soldiers is one thing. Then when they start fucking snapping and
When they went berserk.
Chad Taylor. I don't care what happens. Get Bronn a castle.
Right.
Yes.
Bronn needs his
So,
fucking
that
castle.
note, too. Yeah.
On that
So,
note,
well-
you might as well get the Red Keep.
Here's my prediction. Like, according to the legend of the Azor Ahai, or the reincarnation of the Lord of Light, originally he was supposed to have a sword or something. that-
Lightbringer.
Yeah. But he, like, tempers it however many times, and then he plunges it through the heart of a lion, and it breaks to, like, temper it, you know. Then he folds it over 100 times and plunges it through the heart of a dragon, and it breaks. And he does it 1,000 times or something like that, plunges it through the heart of his one true love, and then that becomes Lightbringer that takes down the Night King, even though the Night King is already dead. And I don't really credit the creators to being this intelligent to have this kind of setup, but My
Definitely
thinking
not.
is Tyrion is at the point where he doesn't care anymore. Daenerys is gone. Like, Varys was right. Daenerys went against not really her word, as you said, but basically did the one thing he told her not to. He's at the point where he's like, "What is the point of being your hand? What is the point of giving you any counsel? You're just going to ignore it and do your own thing."
Especially when he finds out Jaime and Cersei are dead.
And when he knows his family is dead, he knows that Bronn he can't give Bronn Highgarden. He can't convince the queen to give this dude who's going to kill him Highgarden. I think he kind of sits there and he figures like, I'm out. And Daenerys says, you're not out or you're going to be executed. And he says, then execute me. And then she looks to Jon Snow and it's like, you want to prove your loyalty to me? Execute this guy.
I still have
Jon
faith.
Snow is going to be like, I don't know about this. And he's like, hey, look, man, I haven't cared at the end, like pretty much from the beginning of season 5, after he killed Tywin, he was pretty much just prepared to drink himself to death until Varys convinced him, dedicate yourself to Daenerys. She's a better ruler. Now that's been proven wrong, and he doesn't want to live in this world if she's going to be the de facto ruler, which she kind of is right now. So
I like it.
it's going to be a scene that breaks everyone's hearts where Jon executes Tyrion.
I don't think he's gonna. No, he's. I think
And then-
Jon is definitely not Camp Targaryen, despite being a Targaryen.
John's a fucking
At
wildling
this
as far as I'm
point, no,
concerned.
he can't. At this point, no, he's got to break away from Daenerys at some point.
He,
I'm
he did.
thinking-
When he said
I'm
retreat,
thinking
pull back.
After this, the news gets out that he's the legit king, and Sansa is raising the army to basically displace her. So she turns to Jon and says, we got to stop Sansa, and that's where he says, okay, that's a line I can't cross. Or at the very least, I think someone at least has to kill Drogon. If you kill her last dragon, she has no power.
Man,
No, she doesn't.
She has no fear to give.
my uncle and I were talking about this the other day, and I think that if Daenerys dies and Drogon survives, then either Drogon's going to go back to old Valyria and just fucking
live.
just fuck up Essos, you know?
Yeah.
But I could, as much as the dragons weren't happy in the north, I could see fucking Jon and Drogon flying north of the wall. Because he could do whatever, Drogon could do whatever he wanted up there. He wouldn't have to worry about fucking up people, you know?
Not that he worried about it to begin with.
Well, I
Right.
mean, there were certain people that were like, I mean, what do you do?
No
with the fucking...
army's going to raise up to kill this
Yeah,
dragon.
because it's
there's
just
no army
it's just
there.
up there surviving, you know.
Yeah,
And
I think
Drogon, I think Drogon is ultimately going to be loyal to Jon,
I hold
not
true.
Daenerys.
I think
Wow.
I think so.
that's a
That's a
stretch.
That's an interesting pitch, though.
Why not though?
Well, they're very linked to each other.
She got its siblings killed.
He
Jon
did-
didn't.
Well, no, but again, very loyal to Daenerys. It's imprinted on her. Much
If
like
he
the other-
doesn't play, if John doesn't play a part in killing her, like,
Bam. That's what I'm
then-
getting
then
at.
I think
if
that-
Jon doesn't kill her,
I think that Drogon could, because he's a Targaryen. They've got a connection too, not obviously as
Yeah.
much as him and Mom, but you know.
I think I hold true to my belief that we are gonna get an unburnt Jon Snow.
He has been burnt before, though. So how do you?
Has he?
Yes.
When?
Season 1.
Yeah, he burnt his hand.
With the first encounter of the White Walker, when
Mm-hmm.
he's in the Lord Commander's thing, and he grabs that lantern and immediately screams in pain. Even in the novels, it goes into pretty big detail about
Damn.
how
There
he-
goes my theory that we're
he
gonna get a
legit-
fucking roasted
my
Jon Snow survive.
my hope was that the zombie dragon was going to hit it with its ice breath, and that wasn't going to kill him or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been nice.
you just want to see his dick.
I did mention that when I brought that up, I was like, we're gonna get a fucking whoa. That's an intense solo. But I did
Genghis
mention
Khan.
that. I was like, we're gonna get him lit up and we're gonna see some fucking Jon Snow dick, but I'm not gonna care because my theory came true.
And you want to see the dick.
I kinda don't.
Yeah, you do.
Just kinda don't.
just kind of like,
I'm leaning that way.
okay.
I'm leaning towards I don't want to see it, but if I do, I'm not gonna be mad.
Why are we talking about this?
Because it's all cocks in the end.
Nice. Like, I don't give you a lot of credit for shit that you say That was good.
Thanks.
And that was-
Final shot, it just shows Jon Snow's face, and then it slowly
Just
goes
slowly
down.
goes
down.
And then it goes
Black screen.
and it's over.
I mean, Egret always talked about his pretty cock.
This is gonna be. I mean, this is gonna be a tough episode for all of us
It is
because there's us who all have our theories and
Our expectations.
expectations. Thank you. That's a better way to say it. Like we're all invested.
And it's not going to live up to a single one of them, is it?
No, well, and
That's good
even
chance.
We're all going to be disappointed
Like-
in some way.
it's like the Cersei death that I said. It was so unsatisfying. Like Jaime and Cersei going together, that was mildly satisfying
Yeah.
because it it was almost poetic. It made sense. But that's not the death that I fucking wanted. That's not the death that she deserved.
Did you see the meme? Where
She deserved to be fucking maimed.
They photoshopped Cersei's face over Daenerys's from season 1, and it's like she's gonna rise up from the bricks and become Cersei the Uncrushed. The Uncrushed. She has an elephant. The memes.
Yeah, I just like regardless of how good this finale is, I mean, if every theory is proved correct and comes to fruition and is perfect, it's still not going to be good enough.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue.
Call Game Bowl.
Yes,
Yeah,
someone
let's talk
mentioned-
about that for
I-
sure.
I
Have
had
you
that
guys
queued
watched
up.
it with Duel of the Fates over it yet?
Yes. Yes, I did.
No.
It is.
That's
I have
awesome.
not.
I did that this morning while I was on break, and it was
It is
incredible.
so good.
If I didn't think we'd get a copyright claim, I would totally throw that up on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's just really beautiful.
I mean,
As it should be. I mean, it was beautiful with no Duel of Fates. Add Duel of Fates, like the greatest duel fucking.
It just fits. Every good
Soundtrack.
fight, you throw Duel of the Fates on it, and it matches up pretty nicely.
we have anyone who's a fan of Arya as a character has the Hound to thank because he made her.
True.
He helped harden her, and like it was so satisfying for me that final exchange that they have. Arya is fucking cocked, locked, and ready to rock. She's gung ho. She's gonna go fucking murder Cersei,
Yeah.
and she's capable of doing it.
And he's like, "Girl, look at me. I am old as fuck, charging into a castle that's fallen down for revenge.
Gonna kill
Don't
my
do
Franken
this.
brother. Yeah.
Don't fucking do this with your life. Get out of here."
To
Don't
be
do
fair,
this shit.
she had the perfect opportunity when they like met up because Cersei just awkwardly
Right.
walks by.
Oh, that was
And then
so
she ended up in the same room.
fucking
Yeah.
Qyburn. Listen to your queen. Pop. Throw
God,
him
that
out
was
of the way.
great.
You see his
That was
brains falling out the back
incredible.
of his head.
Uh-huh.
That was incredible.
I laughed out loud, like big time.
But-
Like,
but-
yeah.
it was all quiet in the room, and that happened, and I just started busting up laughing. I'm like, this wasn't supposed to be comedic relief.
But when they go north of the wall and you see Thoros die, Sandor gives a shit,
Yeah.
and that's one of the first major times that you see him give a shit. I mean, when Thoros makes him look into the fire and he sees the vision, like he gives a shit about what he's looking at,
Well, he gives a shit when they come upon that house in general.
right? Because it's his fault. Those
He's
people
just
are
like,
fucking dead.
Oh.
But like the Hound was one of my favorite characters in the show because he was just cold and ruthless, and all he cared about was fucking killing his brother.
And I gotta say, that fucking that scene where Sandor's at the bottom, Mountain's on top, dragon fire going in the background. I was like, that's probably the coolest fucking scene of the whole fucking show. It's like knights fighting in a castle that's getting burnt down by a dragon. Like, this is what I want. This is
Yep.
the shit that I'm about.
Like that
Oh, it's so
whole
good.
fucking fight, and at the end, the fucking Mountain goes to shove his thumbs in fucking Sandor's eyes.
I
And
was
it's like,
oh man,
It's like, oh no.
yeah.
I've seen this.
not like this.
But even through all of that, he's still fighting.
And old boy got a sword, a long broadsword shoved through his stomach, pulls it out.
Dagger in the eye. Or
Dagger through the fucking skull, and he pulls it out. Sandor laughs, goes, Okay. Like, whatever.
I remember him saying "fuck it" and just tackling him through the wall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
Fucking die. That's what he said.
Well, and he died. He
just
died in the
fucking
fucking
die.
fire. You know.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
well.
Fitting.
I
It
thought
made
I thought it
sense.
was so poetic because not Sandor, Sir Gregor, he pushed Hound in the
Dumped
fire,
him in the fire. Yeah.
and then here we have it reversed. Like it's so fitting.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a good chance that
Just
the
wanted
mountain
to
didn't
say
die
this
from
was
the fall.
this was over a wooden soldier toy, man. Come on.
Right.
All for naught.
Yeah.
What if they just like halfway through the fight said, "Man, what are we doing?" And like cut to 3 hours later and they're at the
Zombie-
tavern.
They're playing with
Zombie
that
Mountain,
toy.
Totally.
They're playing with the
my
fucking
brother,
little.
man.
They're getting ready. Before the fight starts, Gregor reaches into his pocket and pulls out the toy.
Oh, man.
You can have it. I was really,
Save Martha. What?
I was really happy to see fucking the mountain without his helmet
Yeah.
He's
Because-
so fucking gross.
because I thought they were gonna write that in a way that you don't.
Mhm.
And I've since he became a fucking homunculus, I've wanted that to fucking happen. I want to see
he's-
that fucker's face.
He straight up took all of his armor off and said, "I am this."
It's kind of like it's like the end of like a Friday the 13th or something
Mhm.
when Jason takes the mask off or something. and you
right.
See how ugly he is underneath.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was so satisfying though. That was
Yes.
probably, I mean, like Nick said it way better than I can. That's the best part of the whole fucking series.
So fucking magical.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My favorite part of the episode is still Daenerys on the wall, just rage filled. Like just seeing her just fill up with rage and that whole like just her staring off into.
But if we're gonna
everything.
get hard-ons over rage scenes, I mean, that's not better than when fucking Jon charges Ramsay Snow with a fucking shield.
I'm
Like,
not-
fuck
I'm
this
not
sword.
disagreeing.
I'm gonna grab this shield and I'm gonna fuck you up with it.
I'm not disagreeing, but that, like I said, that's still my favorite. I'm not saying it's the best. A lot of people always tend to think they coincide. Like I know how to differentiate my favorite from what is the best. Like I know what the best scene was, and it's obviously Clegane Bowl.
They did such a good when they all met in the middle. And Danny lands, and you see the Lannisters are like, "Nope." Right after Cersei says
They'll fight harder.
they'll fight to the last man.
Yeah.
The next scene is them throwing their swords down and saying, "We're not fucking doing this." And the moment when it's all starting to turn, you see it in Grey Worm. Grey Worm had this face that just it was like drawn down, like he was just like
Disgusted.
he was entering rage mode.
Yeah,
And the look on Jon's face when Grey Worm throws that spear, he doesn't. I don't even know if Jon did much of anything, but his face drops for that half second, and it goes,
Don't do it.
"Fuck." No, it was the "don't do it." Then he did it, and it's just no. And
like,
everyone
here we
runs
go.
up from behind
Yep.
him. He's like, "We did it. They peacefully surrendered. What are you doing?"
yeah. And then it's like all bets are off. Like bloodlust hits everyone
Mhm.
except for the Lannister, and suddenly it's everything switches.
Mm-hmm.
Like the good guys become basically the bad guys, and the bad guys are trying
They're
to
the
help.
one trying to help.
They're the
everyone
ones
get
trying to
out.
help, and like
I really liked
Such a dichotomy.
cinematically seeing the Dothraki fucking ride through the streets.
Yeah, I love that
because
shot.
they're doing what Dothraki do.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't
They're
give a
doing
shit.
much, yeah.
They're
Yeah.
finally doing it. We're going to get this fucking throne y'all are talking about. We are stomping through this city.
You guys have been
finally.
talking about this chair,
Yeah. Fuck.
this chair for
Sure.
kings.
Fuck these men in their iron suits.
Yeah. Let's rewind a little bit. I love that shot after they take the gate and bust through it. You got Grey Worm, you got Davos, and you got Jon Snow, all just
The boys.
marching.
Cleanup crew.
Yeah, they're just fucking marching. I love that. I just love that shot.
Did
That was a
anyone
good
else
shot.
really enjoy that the Golden Company was totally fucking useless?
I loved
Yeah.
it.
I loved it
Oh,
too because
so good.
like the actor that they cast as the
Harry
like,
Strickland.
yeah, the fucking general for the Golden Company. The moment that guy walked on the scene, I want that guy to die.
Yeah, he just
Fuck
looked like
that
a
guy,
dickhead.
man.
You think you're gonna get another Jon Snow Battle of the Bastards? Like I'm holding my ground against this charging force. No, he's like, fuck this. Like, they even
Right.
paused long enough to make you think that.
And then someone said, and I like how Grey Worm just fucking. It was. They made it seem like that was such an important moment for Grey Worm. Like they had a problem with each other. It's like,
Yeah.
no, Grey Worm's just murdering.
They were rivals.
They didn't know each other at all. Yeah, they made it.
They
seem
knew
like,
each other back in Essos.
It's like nope.
Golden Company and
Nope.
Unsullied had this long rivalry back from their high school days. You know,
Yeah,
Yep.
but
let's go up there and
There was a
TP
bad
the
breakup.
Unsullied Academy.
I
Those
hated.
goddamn Golden Company.
I hated his
bastards.
pantaloons.
another one of the spinoffs. This Grey Worm v. Harry Strickland. The high school years.
Oh my god.
It's just a fucking like syndicated rerun of Saved by the Bell.
We should do a whole episode where we just come up with stupid spinoffs.
I'm cool with that.
I am definitely cool with that.
Start working on my list.
Especially because, I mean, 3 of the original 5 spin-offs are 100% confirmed, are supposed to start shooting basically like fucking 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's
So-
keep this show going.
Well, I mean, you know, I said a minute ago that no matter what happens in the next episode, people are going to be unhappy. People are going to be pissed off and disappointed. There's going to be a lot of people that don't watch any of the spin-offs because of how mad they are with how this show ended,
That's silly.
which it is.
Despite how...
Because you don't, like, right now, there's so many stories that they can tell. It's almost Star Wars-esque.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
The
There's
Game
just-
of Thrones cinematic universe
Or
Yeah.
Harry
is
Potter.
about to
Yes,
start.
thank you.
You know, any of these other series that
You see that?
get large enough and develop enough of a world that like their spin-offs should be able to thrive on.
You
their
see
own.
that George R.R. Martin caught a lot of flack because he said Gandalf's better than Dumbledore.
But he is. I mean,
He is, absolutely.
fucking
He's like,
Gandalf's a
Dumbledore, when he
tank.
died, he stayed dead. Gandalf, when
Yeah.
he died,
He
came
leveled
back.
up.
He leveled up.
But like
He got all
three,
the epic gear.
Three of
Gandalf
the
is a
major-
deity.
3 of the major, possible spin-off, or like, I don't know.
They already said they're not doing Robert's Rebellion, which
The
bums me out.
first one is The Long Night.
Yep.
The first
Yep.
Long
The original.
Night.
It's the first men and the children of the forest fucking banding together to fight the White Walkers. Another one is the Targaryens leaving Old Valyria, which would be cool. And then I can't remember what the third one was. I think the third one was like,
The Adventures of Tormund and Ghost.
yeah. I mean, I would love that. We didn't get enough Tormund in the show.
Think of like Full House.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Fuck
Just
yeah.
a very light vibe.
Like the opening of the show is Tormund sucking on a giant titty.
Everywhere you look. Everywhere.
He's got fucking milk in his beard. Like,
Yeah.
Can the giant be like John Stamos, but with like the female Snapchat filter on,
Oh
and
my
also a giant?
or just Roseanne
What? Are
Barr.
you-
Jane
Or that's
Stamos.
Roseanne Barr. We
Get
are
that bitch
taking
some
this.
stilts.
We are taking this too far.
That was so specific. John Stamos with the
With the Snapchat
I just
gender
well,
swap
we were
filter.
talking Full House, so I'm like, okay, how do we get John Stamos involved in this?
with the Snapchat filter. That's what I'm like.
I had to make him female somehow. I had to make him a chick.
Wow.
As if Hollywood doesn't have enough. I mean, they turned John Travolta into a woman, so
Yeah, they did.
why not?
They've done weird things.
How did
They've
you
done-
guys? How did you guys feel about the? We talked about the perspective of just watching women and children getting burned, but how Arya is, the last 20 minutes of the show, like she's just getting fucked up
Right.
over and over and over again.
Plot, armor.
Yeah.
Like she had a building fall on top of her. It looked like.
She gets that fucking head injury and like stands up and stumbles around, right before that tower falls.
What?
Like, okay, she is incredibly concussed. She has
Not to
be.
mention the head injury she got at the long night.
And what the fuck is going on with the horse? Are we really making the death illusion like that?
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
overt. It's like
But-
This is a fist. It's made of ham, and this is death. It's
Yeah.
a pale horse. She's death.
they're like punching
Then, yeah.
us in the nose with it. Like
They've
come
been
on.
They've been doing that for a while.
they've really been punching you in the nose with Arya being death since season 2. I kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
There
didn't
was
need
the whole
fucking
interaction between
white
her-
horse.
There was
I mean-
the whole interaction between her and Tywin. And she says, like, "I believe anyone could be killed," and There's the first interaction with Melisandre where she looks in her and she's like, I see all these eyes going out and, green eyes and blue eyes, which, of course, came back in The Long Night. But
Right. I really like that, I really like that they keep bringing up the Bravosi phrase, what do we say to the god of death?
Right,
Not
yeah.
today, Like, I get that. I like it. But, like, there's no reason she should have survived the fucking sacking of King's Landing. Like, she should be dead.
Unless the Lord of Light is acting upon her.
Or she's the fucking god of death.
Therefore, the
Which
Lord of
they
Light is
are.
not acting upon her, but
A
working with
hydraulic
her.
press to our faces.
I think
That's
we're.
what
I
it
think.
is.
I think.
Yeah.
I think the Lord of Light is done. I think we're past that.
Possibly. Yeah.
when Melisandre faded, yeah.
Mhm.
Or maybe that was the thing, because Arya was the one that actually killed the Night King and the prophecy wasn't fulfilled. It kind of confirmed to her it was all bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she had some sort of power, even though she could see the future to some degree, it wasn't real lore or the Lord of Light as she thought. And it's just like, okay.
Well, I had a different perspective on why, she died when she took her amulet off, or why she looked old when she wasn't wearing the fucking, the choker.
Let's hear this.
Because every time she used blood magic, it fucking sapped some of her life away. So that's why the priestesses have to wear those fucking chokers.
Only life pays for life.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Makes sense.
That's the way that it made sense to
It
me.
makes sense.
It's not that she's lived for hundreds of years. It's that every time she does some fucking voodoo, it takes a little piece of her away. Just like Barrick said, every time he's brought back, a little bit of him is chipped away. So that's just my little Lord of Light spiel.
yeah.
I don't need to talk about him anymore because I think he's done in the show.
Can we talk about the witch's prophecy from season 5?
Yeah.
It just
And,
being total.
the sun rises
garbage.
in the east when the mountains. I don't know, what is the witch's prophecy.
Which one are you talking about?
The witch to Cersei as a young child.
It was garbage.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that witch, the frog.
But
lady.
most of it came true.
She
Yeah.
wasn't killed by her brother.
She kind of was.
No.
In
In what way can you argue that Tyrion or Jamie brought the...
Tyrion sent Jamie. I mean, it's a stretch. Don't just
All right,
bear with
all
me.
right.
He technically led her down there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tyrion sent Jamie, said, hey, lead her this way. He led her that way, ended up being blocked.
Tyrion brought Daenerys to King's Landing.
There's that. I mean, that's really stretching it, but
He did.
he did.
She wouldn't have got there if it wasn't for Tyrion.
But there was like the whatever word they had for little brother.
Valonqar.
Yeah. Didn't say that with their hands around your throat or hands around your neck or something like that.
I think it might. She might have said at the hands of.
Yeah.
So you could stretch that to say that she died in Jamie's arms. But I think it's a stretch. But all prophecies are a stretch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, can't get it all right. I mean,
They're all open for
She was at least
interpretation.
like
The
four for
prophecy
5.
box is this big.
4
and you
for
just
5,
Gotta,
that's
you gotta
good
shove
enough.
things in to make it.
I mean, for 4 for 1. I mean, she was queen for a little bit. She had 3 children.
I think it was just.
All
They
with
all
golden
died.
crowns.
They all died with gold shrouds. The king she would marry would have 20 children,
Yeah.
roughly. Probably a lot more.
The books. I'm reading through the books again, and they
Yeah.
did just say that he specifically had 20
Okay.
bastard children.
We got Gendry out of all that.
There's one in there's not a whole lot of them.
The new
in
Lord
the book.
Baratheon.
I think you meet a daughter who's like a baby, and there's another one called Erdrick Storm.
Mhm.
And he's a big part of the books because of Melisandre doing her blood magic and shit.
Yeah.
So
Is he kind of the Gendry, or Gendry is the Edric substitute? I
no,
guess.
they're all Gendry's,
Really?
in,
Gendry's in the book,
Gendry's
too.
in the book. Gendry's
I would know that. I read the book.
Gendry's
The
a
first
major
one.
part of the book, and Erdrick, not so much. Like he's definitely like brought up a lot. He's not dead or anything, but there is in the books. There's the big scourge, like in the show, where Cersei goes and murders a bunch of them.
my confusion, having not read the books, is at what point does the show end or the books end and the show begins?
It's all over the place with different storylines.
I was gonna say because it's been since season 6, correct? That they just started adding stuff in.
It just depends.
Like seriously,
it's around season 5 where it starts. Up through 4 is pretty much all spot
Source.
on.
I'd say once they showed the Night King for the first point, that was when they just said
the Night King is not in the books.
Okay.
There's 5 out of 7 books out, and there's no Night King at all.
maybe he never appears in the books.
I think it might end up just being a more abstract thing.
I mean, you have the others. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. 'Cause
I'm waiting until the show's done to read the books.
Isn't like the final thing of the last book that came out was Jon Snow getting murdered?
Yeah.
Or betrayed?
Yeah. So that's the last. Yeah. The last.
What was that kid's name? What was that kid's
Ollie.
name?
Ollie.
Ollie.
Hey, too, Ollie. I don't think Ollie's in the. I don't think he's in the books. And if he is, he's definitely not. He definitely doesn't participate.
He's a B-lister.
Yeah, I think he's in the book in the context of being a kid that survives the villages that were being attacked by the Finns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Those cannibal bastards.
I love how at this
He was
point
scary.
we have like 0 C or D list characters, and it's all pretty much A list characters, and then maybe a smattering of B list.
I've been pretty unhappy with how much Davos hasn't been included in what's been going on.
Yeah.
Davos is an awesome character.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's like when he realizes that Shireen got fucking burned alive, like you see that look on his face that like, man, I fucked up.
Yep. Like, how
Why
the fuck
did I help-
get here?
Yeah. Like, not even that, but like, I put my faith in that fucking dude. And he,
Yep.
like, in the show, I don't think he realizes that fucking Stannis is the one that fucking gave the command to burn her alive, but, because obviously he blames that all on Melisandre, but,
Yeah.
That didn't happen. I guess it could technically still happen.
But I think he realizes, like, man, if I just would have been with this fucking dude the whole time, I'd be all right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He traded the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Stannis to Jon.
For sure.
Stannis was... In the books, he's supposed to be, like, even smarter than Tywin in terms of, like, military command.
Mm. Well, that's what the first couple seasons, that's what they hype him up as. You know,
Yeah.
he's the best fucking general in the Seven Kingdoms.
He's a pretty... I mean, again, he reaches his wit's end when he burns his daughter alive.
Mm-hmm.
But
And it was tough to
I
watch.
don't think he would have been. I don't think he would have been a bad king. He's a pretty just guy.
He's duty bound.
Yeah,
He's
he
very
was-
He's
stern.
very
He wasn't
he's
cruel
very by the book
until
you know?
he lost his fucking mind.
He's just a stern fellow.
He's like a starched shirt Republican FBI guy, you know.
Mm.
Incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
He loved that red witch. Mm. Shadow babies.
How come all our babies are black?
Oh, man.
Wowzers.
Goddamn milkman.
Damn it, Melisandre.
God damn it.
Wow.
Did we forget anything?
No, I think.
Covered everything pretty well, I think.
I think
mean-
so.
I mean, we got a lot of people are like, well, why was Drogon so like worthless when against the Scorpions last episode, but this episode he just fucking took everything out.
He wasn't fucking a mile up in the sky.
There's that.
And
yeah.
because he is telekinetically controlled by Dany, and Dany didn't want to attack.
Yeah. Well, Dany was caught. They were all caught by surprise. They didn't know. Like,
Is it fucking telepathic?
I feel like there's some kind of link.
I thought it was
There's
just
gotta be
fucking
some kind of link.
body movement. Like,
Well,
I'm gonna lean a little bit. You go
when
left.
so
you know?
I figure when we're in a universe with dragons, I'm not really thinking of like how they're controlling the dragons so much.
In the books, they say it's
Telepathic.
telepathic.
All right, that's fair.
so everybody's like, oh, why is it so OP now? Like,
I mean, it's
just
a
fucking
dragon. It's always been
destroying
OP.
shit. Yeah.
Think
but
about when
guess what?
Viserion
takes out
when
the
he took
wall
down the wall. You build up your fucking power bar, and
and just fucking unleash.
this was the time when it's like, all right, buddy, we didn't have to fight when we were with the loot train. That was just we were just fighting. Now we're going to war, and you're just gonna fucking go to town. He's like, all right.
See,
I mean, 10 goats.
I look
for
at it this
breakfast.
way. Way back when the dragons get kidnapped in the House of the Undying, they state that they're fueled by Dany's. They are powered by Dany.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When they're the strongest when they're in her presence. So what if her feelings, what if her rage fuels Drogon?
So you're saying that she used the power of the Force and the midichlorians.
She used battle meditation and straight up,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still pissed that fucking Rhaegal died. So
Totally
it sucks
unnecessary.
because now Jon doesn't have a mount.
I mean,
Yeah.
he just needs to take Drogon and then be okay with it.
I just don't think that's gonna happen.
Whatever happens, none of us will be satisfied.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yep.
keep saying it, and
They're gonna have Tyrion suddenly pop up inside a gigantic like Megazord.
yes, Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, totally just take on.
Did you guys
Drogon.
see? Did you guys see the theory that Tyrion is actually secretly a Targaryen?
because Aerys fucked his mom.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's clues all throughout, but it's possible. But
I don't think it's gonna be
I
a
don't
show thing.
No,
I definitely think it's a thing.
The
For all the-
closest they came to hinting that, I think, was in season 5, when right before he gets kidnapped by Jorah. I think
Really?
they're in that town, and then there's like the Red Priestess standing there talking to a whole crowd of people. And then suddenly she just stops and then turns and then stares straight at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here now."
well, there's all those times that Tywin's like, "You're no son of mine."
Yeah,
He specifically says that. What did he say? And it totally gives it away. He says he can't prove that he's not.
Yeah.
Tywin specifically says, he says, I have to accept you as a member of my family since I can't prove that you're not.
I am fairly certain that in this book I read last night.
You read that whole book last night?
No, I skimmed.
Okay.
Aerys is the one that took, I can't remember her name. Tywin's wife
Joanna.
took her womanhood
Yeet.
before they were together.
oh, but he came back and tapped it again, right? Because
Clearly.
because
'Cause
Tyrion's
Tyrion's
born
younger.
after the twins.
Yeah.
So
there's something there, if not forcefully there.
And that's what
'Cause
caused
Aerys.
That's what caused him to step down as the hand. Is there was
Possibly, yeah.
there was an event like an attorney or something, and there's hints throughout that something happened that night with Aerys and Joanna, and when the tourney was done and they got back to King's Landing, he resigned as the hand and left.
Yeah.
Because Aerys was just cruel to Tywin
yes.
all the time, but Tywin was the badass. Tywin's the one that won all of Aerys' war, all of his battles.
They would say that Aerys was the king, but Tywin ruled.
And once Aerys heard that, he was just a total fucking douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
Which it totally that totally makes Tywin as hand of the king to Joffrey make so much more sense. How he's like controlling everything and let Joffrey be king by proxy, and then and Tywin's like, all right, you go do your king thing, relish in all of the glory of being king, but I'll take care of all this stuff.
He's the power.
Yeah.
Well, and they try to convince Ned Stark of that in season 1. Like, you'll be fucking protector of the realm. Like, do not challenge fucking Cersei. You can rule the Seven Kingdoms. Let Joffrey be the face, and you'll be the actual king. And he's like, but honor and loyalty. And now I don't have a head.
He only died right after he fucking
broke his own honor.
Fucking dumbass.
But like when Tyrion lets Viserion and Rhaegal free, you know, when he takes the chains off, like they don't fucking burn him up.
No,
they're not just not burning him up because he's being a nice guy. Like
for the same reason that they didn't gobble up Jon.
Yep.
They've got
but he still wouldn't be the crown prince, would he? Because
older.
Rhaegar was the crown prince, then his heir. I feel like that has more importance over another sibling to the crown prince. Still, because
it gets one of the big points of one of the big themes of the whole thing is it's all just muddied bullshit.
Yeah,
you know, like
but
who's got the right claim? Well, because of this and
at
this.
At the same time, Tyrion would still be a bastard.
Oh yeah,
just out of wedlock. You know, yeah, you get it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I go back to my theory. 30 minutes ago or however long ago it was. I think Tyrion really, if he doesn't just totally give up, I think he's the only one that would rule justly other than Jon.
Him and Sansa.
Man, that would be so
Man,
fucking
I
sad.
hope
Especially
they
with
get back together.
That fucking moment that they share in the crypts.
Yes.
God, that was good.
Yeah,
it was.
I like how she says, it wouldn't work out between us, and he's like, why? He's like,
you were the best of them.
I'll get a fucking step stool.
Change my mind.
I'll fucking I'll get a saddle like I had made for Bronn. We'll figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Bronn, you mean Bran?
Bran.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going to happen with Bronn?
That was a hard A.
He's obscure. I get it. He's obscure. It doesn't matter anymore.
I think though,
which pisses me off.
He'll have a moment. He'll have at least a moment.
I was gonna. They
but what do you
brought
think?
Him back if they? Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen with Bran? You think he's gonna do anything?
No.
Someone mentioned
gonna
earlier.
work some more. Okay,
Let's
see you guys
see.
later.
Someone
time
mentioned
travel a little
earlier.
bit.
Oh, where was it?
It turns out Bran's just a fucking time travel perv.
Yeah.
He's just going back in time, watching people fuck.
Oh, yeah, literally the last comment, and I'm skipping all up. Matt Milliken says, and I don't know which Matt Milliken, there's two of them that I know, says, just have to put my prediction in there. Jon kills Dany and Jon dies, then Bran will sit on the throne. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever for Bran to sit on the throne.
He views himself as not a fucking human being anymore. He's a three-eyed raven.
True.
Absolutely. I see Jon sitting on the throne more than Bran, and Jon wants absolutely nothing to do with it. But that shot of... They did a lot of promotional material for this, and there's all the different people sitting on the throne.
Yeah.
And Jon
Look at the Funko Pops.
Well,
they made a Funko Pop of every person that could possibly sit on the throne.
Jon Snow's sitting on the throne kind of mirrors that image of Ned Stark on the throne in season one, where he's just sitting there with his sword, just clearly doesn't want to be there, but he is.
I think it would be poetic too if he did end up on the throne and not wanting it, because
and that's a bittersweet ending because he had to kill his love.
Yeah, by some degree, it's just like King Robert. He didn't. Well, I mean, he liked being king, but at the same time,
he didn't want to rule.
Yeah, he said he liked winning the throne, but he didn't like ruling it.
Yeah. The true tragedy with Robert Baratheon was losing Lyanna.
That's
all he wanted. That's all he wanted.
Yeah.
He
wanted
had her.
what
She
he
was
could
betrothed.
not have.
And he never let it go.
Yeah. That was the true tragedy of Robert Baratheon. He got king, but was it worth it to not have the one he loved?
That didn't love him back.
That didn't love him back, which unbeknownst to him.
He wanted what he could not have.
Sad.
All based on a lie that Rhaegar kidnapped her.
Mm-hmm.
Man. This has been a good episode.
It has been.
You're a good episode.
Thanks. Although I'm a rotten person for spoiling.
Yes,
this week.
you are.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I
Don't
contributed.
I was
It-
expecting full rage from you.
I'm sorry if I contributed to any of that because the moment I saw him open the floodgates on the memes, I could not fucking help it. I jumped right in.
I told Nate Phillips, Pod Daddy, I think it was yesterday or day before. I'm like, I expect a full tirade from Nick, and I have no defense. I was like, I have zero defense.
I was like, the memes were so good, you couldn't help but spoil it for people. Weird flex, bud.
And I was just like, I got nothing.
You got me.
All I said was, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, we've said our predictions and we've said what we
Mhm.
want to happen. I mean, what the question that I have, and I'm going to ask it again if I'm here next week for the finale. But where do we go from here? I mean, not just where does HBO go, but like what are we going to fill this void that we have now with?
Little Big Lies.
Little Big Lies.
I'm kidding.
Chernobyl.
Ballers.
I am
I
going to watch
really wanna-
Chernobyl, I think.
They got the
but,
Deadwood
I'm gonna
movie
watch-
coming out.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch Chernobyl for sure.
The
Cat-
Watchmen.
I mean,
Watchmen.
The
yeah.
Watchmen. yeah.
Westworld, I mean,
I've not heard anything about more Westworld,
I
but
still
I'm ready
haven't
for
finished
that.
season 2.
I don't
Westworld's
think
wild.
I don't know if HBO is going to have a series of this magnitude for a while. I mean,
is anyone going to have a series of this magnitude?
not
No.
for a while?
It'd be fucking tight if Amazon could pull off the Lord of the Rings show.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got really high expectations for that, and I know it's gonna ruin it for
Are you
me.
guys gonna see the Tolkien movie?
Yeah, I want to.
I do too.
I was just reminded that John Wick 3 comes out too.
Ooh, I still have
today.
not seen 1 or 2.
Dude, it's so
Oh,
They're great.
yes.
good. They just
Yeah.
made John Wick a playable character in Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jeez, yeah.
Mm.
It's
I mean-
wild.
I mean, last year you could fight Thanos.
Really?
they're pretty good about that pop culture shit.
How do they get the rights?
They're Fortnite. They're
Yeah.
the most popular game on the planet right now.
It's just a fighting game, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's-
pretty much.
Something. I don't know what
the
hell
kids love
is.
it.
The children's.
The Gen Ys, the Gen Z, or it's Gen Z, isn't
Gen
it?
Z now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gen Z.
We're gonna run out of letters. I have to come up with cool names like Generation Raptors.
God, I wish we were Generation Raptor.
No, we got stuck with millennial.
Fuck that.
I love that it's a curse word.
I'd rather.
It really is.
Fucking millennials.
Meanwhile, I mean, you got baby boomers, you got Gen X.
What generation are you from? Raptor.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We are the Raptors.
Cobra Kai. Generation Cobra Kai.
Wow. Wowzers.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we ready? Are we ready to call this?
Let's wrap it.
All right, let's wrap it. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back next Thursday for, I don't want to say the finale. The finale,
finale of the
episode
show.
of
The
Game
finale
of
of
Thrones.
the initial series.
But I think we're going to do a wrap-up show. We're going
Yeah.
to do an extra show just to wrap up the whole season, possibly even the whole series.
Man, I would love that.
And we're going to bring it to you. But yeah, check us out live next Thursday, and we're going to bring you the final episode of Game of Thrones, what we think about it, how disappointed we are, how amazed we are. Who knows what we're going to feel.
It will be both.
We are fans, and therefore we are the worst critics.
I will
Yeah.
have definitely some unpopular opinion, I'm sure, as I usually
yeah,
do.
you're typical with that.
Mhm.
You can always check out Podcastrophe live. Typically every Tuesday. We didn't do it this week, but every Tuesday around 5:30. Audio drops on Thursday. The audio for Game of King Chair drops on Friday, so check that out as well. You can catch us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio. Be sure to check out the Journey into Comics Network on all of the podcasting platforms that I just mentioned and more. And you can get shows like Journey into Comics or Brews with Dudes and Dungeons with Dudes featuring this guy right over here, Nick.
Been going hard into Dungeons with Dudes here
Yeah?
lately.
The dudes.
Awesome. So if that is all. It's all cocks in the end.
It's all cocks in the end.
It's all cocks.
That's the closest I can get to make every day a big dick day.
Just give Braun
for
his castle.
this.
And remember, it's all cocks in the end. Dun, 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 dun.
Just give Braun his castle.
Bye, guys.